morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to your weekly news podcast, MoCo Assistance. My name is Harold Maldonado. Welcome you to episode 37 of this week. Today is February 18th, year of our Lord 2025. We have entitled this episode D.E.I, but not the D.E.I you're thinking about. We have decided to change the acronym a little bit to fully describe the leadership in our county and our state and our federal government in the last 10 years, which has been deceptive. These politicians have lied to us, evasive. They have dodged real issues. They have lied to the public, the residents of the DMV, the residents of Montgomery County, and we have seen numerous times, numerous examples that they're incompetent. Their incompetence has been basically the reason why we're in the situation we're in, with high property taxes, high inflation, crime rampant all over the country, in our county especially, and also because the economy is not doing well, and our school system and our education is in the dumps because of this ideology. So thank God Trump won the presidency, and the GOP won the Senate and the House of Representatives, and now are cleaning house basically. So everything you're seeing right now is a result of the American people voicing their complete rejection of the D.E.I, Democrat, DNC propaganda narrative, and here we are. We ask a moment of silence for the D.E.I utilizing wokeness 2015 to 2024. So we ask you to please subscribe to our channels in Telegram, YouTube, and Rumble, and TikTok, and also follow us at Twitter and Facebook. We'd like to engage with you. We'd like to engage conversations. There are a lot of issues going on right now, and this is the time. And this is the time where MoCo residents need to step up, need to start getting active. There's a lot of accounts out there who have stepped up. And I'll share those accounts later on, but we are the resistance. I'm one of many channels out there that is fighting back. So join us, join the resistance, so we can get some accountability going in our county officials, and we can start cleaning everything that's wrong with the county. Okay, so deceptive, evasive, and incompetent. We're going to touch on three themes. Of course, we'll have the bonus round like we do every week. The first point we're going to touch is the county is being run by criminals. This is a fact. It's not a fiction anymore. They are working with organized crime, and it's evident that the budgets that they put out every year is basically what you've seen from DOGE findings and USAID and next IRS, what they found in this SSA, Social Security Administration, trillions, billions, millions of dollars being wasted. And then we're going to talk about GOP fighting back. So there's hope. GOP is stepping up to address one of the issues that we have in the county right now, where I don't know if you noticed, I don't know if you received your electric bill lately, but it has gone up significantly. We touched on that in the last episode, and we're doing a follow up on that. And also we're going to talk about DOGE, what they're doing, what has been the information coming out of in their findings, and of course we have the DNC and the Democratic politicians being really outspoken about going against DOGE and what Elon Musk is doing. And basically, this is interesting. This is proof that the people who are organizing protests, organizing pushback against Trump and his decision to create this government agency. Well, let me rephrase that. Trump's decision to refocus this government agency is causing a lot of havoc in terms of the money laundering that has been going on for years, where Democrats, for the most part in Congress, have been benefiting from the money laundering, that we send our money overseas and it comes back. And of course, we've said this since the beginning. The reason why our budgets are high in at all levels county, state, and federal is because the criminals who are creating these budgets, they need to pay their criminal associates, and you're seeing that right now. Every day, the information coming out. For example, how the money from USAID was paid to media sources, and not only in the United States but also overseas. So we'll touch on that, and finally we're going to go into the bonus round. So hold on to that. So the first point we're going to touch is, as I said before at the beginning, we're going to touch on our county, the fact that our county is being run by criminals. All of these are puppets. They're puppets of the Tacoma Park Communist Cartel. They're puppets of the DNC, and they have sold themselves out, and then they don't work for us. This guy doesn't work for us. This guy seems like nice old man. He's vicious and part of the communist takeover of the county. This is Cells right here. She's also a puppet. This guy, no clue what he's doing. And this lady right here, she represents a Hispanic community. Natali Gonzales, she smiles all the time. With crime being rampant in her district, nothing at all. This guy right here, he just reads off the computer. Gabe Albornoz, he reads off the computer. He doesn't have anything genuine or unique to say. He's not independent. He's dependent on his handlers. And the current president of the county council, Stewart, he basically following orders, not doing anything. And of course, we have Don Luedtke, who is the leader of the Air Park criminal cartel. More information on that coming soon. We have Evan Glass, who supports pedophilia and pedophiles. So he hasn't rejected pedophilia, and we'd like to get an answer from that soon, but I don't think so. We have Marilyn Balcom, who said that she knew the ins and outs of the problems of Montgomery County and her district during the campaign in 2022, but she has done nothing. All she does is go out there and take pictures and pretend she cares about the residents. She doesn't care. And we have racist Mink here, who is married to a white man, but feels the need to call people who don't align with her thoughts, political views, racist. She called Muslims racist, called them white supremacists. Okay, so we have the council, who are criminals. They work hand in hand with organized crime, and all of them will be facing justice soon, and all of them will be handcuffed and taken to prison. Are criminals. So we turn to X, Twitter, to get the latest on what's going on. We have the first tweet from the Montgomery County Republican Party. Maryland legislators and MoCo Council will eliminate gas heating in many Maryland buildings. So they put out a tweet and with a petition. So I would ask you to please fill out the petition, because the county council has decided that we don't need any fossil fuels, and that despite all the studies from experts telling them that getting rid of fossil fuels is not feasible, and it's not economically feasible, they continue to do that. So that's why you're seeing all the mess with the high energy prices in the county and in the state. So let's continue. We have one of our tweets. It reads, receipts. MoCo officials are full throttle on pushing the UN Agenda 2030. I've talked about this before and said since last year that the county policies and zero decarbonization bills and laws, the economy should be free of fossil fuels, and they should be without any resistance, and everybody should live within a 15-minute smart cities. These smart cities will take away your property rights. You're not going to own a home or an apartment. Everything will be shared, and those smart cities will be run by artificial intelligence. So that's why we have in the county a lot of cameras everywhere, and that's why the new police chief has said that he's on board with that. So although we had high hopes for the new chief is a yes man, unfortunately. Okay, so here we have they're attending, meaning the county council, a smart cities conference in Taiwan in March to get their marching orders to continue implementing it here at home. Urgent, please share this information. share this information far and wide. If you don't know what this agenda is, here's a video that explains it. So I'll put a link there. I'll put the link also under this episode. So the basic summary is it's a UN plan to make us slaves to the government and are using the MoCo Thrive 2050. Probably heard about that. There was some talk in 2022 and later on they approved it. So basically the UN Agenda 2030 is a big plan for the whole world, and locally we have Thrive 2050. So and they created that, they adjusted it in order to fit their plan. So Thrive 2050 is our UN Agenda 2030 for Montgomery County, and Montgomery County is organizing a delegation of business, academic, and government leaders to travel to Taiwan to attend the 2025 Smart Cities Conference. So here we have it, proof that the county council is full on board with creating smart cities. This is urgent because if they are doing this, that means that the Democratic Party in the county and the state are planning to do something alike what they did in California and Hawaii, which is to create fires, to create natural disasters in order to take away the land of people. I don't know if you noticed, but in the last year or so, you've been called, if you own a home, you've been called a lot by companies that they want to buy your home. Everybody wants to buy your home because they need the land space in order for to create these smart cities. So that's why they're laying the groundwork. They don't care about. That's why they don't care about the economy. That's why they don't care about education. That's why they don't care about anything, because they have their marching orders. So, MoCo, wake up. All right, let's continue. We have a tweet from MoCo for Moms for Liberty in Montgomery County. It says, this is from Friday, a maze is used at MCPS for health class to teach gender ideology. Yes, so Maze produces supplemental videos on human growth and development topics, including sections on gender identity for young children. Amaze.org is a subsidiary of Advocates Tweet, and both receive federal funding. So last week we said that the county was doubling down. They're definitely doubling down. They're not going to adhere to any Trump directive or executive order. So this is going to be interesting. But you have a voice, MoCo. You have a voice, so you have to get your voice heard, and there are many ways. So if you've been standing on the sidelines up to now, it's time for you to get active. I've been saying that for the last since 2023. I've been saying that after I was part of the elections in 2022, and this is disgusting. This material should not be included in our school systems. But yeah, Montgomery County and Maryland are doubling down, and here's a sample of what they're pushing.
Everyone has a way of showing their masculinity and femininity to the world. That is your gender expression. Everyone has the right to be respected, no matter how they look, act, or dress. The way a person shows their gender doesn't tell us anything about who they're attracted to or which gender they feel they are inside. Gender identity is a person's inner sense of whether they are male or female. For most people, their gender identity matches their physical body.
All right, let's continue. So we have another tweet from Moms for Liberty. A letter has been sent to the Departments of Education in all 50 states, informing them that they have 14 days to eliminate all diversity, equity, and inclusion D.E.I. programs in their public schools. Are you hearing this, MCPS? Institutions that do not comply may risk losing federal funding. So here we are. Here's a letter from the U.S. Department of Education, which is closing soon, but here's a letter. This is one of the last letters, I guess. The Department of Education has sent this letter to all 50 states, of course, including Maryland, and of course, dropping down to locally here at MCPS, and they are doubling down. All right, let's continue. MCPS has 12 more days. This is from 2 days ago. MCPS has 12 days to eliminate diversity as the #1 priority for the 25-26 boundary study before they face the Title VI violation. File a complaint and likely lost federal funding. Looking forward to the press release. What I'm hearing from colleagues and friends that work in the federal government is most federal governments are just changing the wording in their contracts and in their websites, etc., in order to comply with Trump's directive. This executive order from the president, of course, and I'm sure MCPS is going to circumvent, and they're going to find a way to lie to the public and not comply with the executive order. And again, this shows hypocrisy from the DNC, from the Democrat Party. It shows that they say, we are a party of law, we are a party of freedom, we are a party of racial equality, etc., etc. They're not. They're criminals, all of them. What else do you need to see? I mean, I'm sorry, but this is these are the facts. Here at MoCo Resistance, since day one, our mission, our vision has been to tell the truth, independent of where the truth comes from or adheres to. So, MCPS, I mean, parents from all walks of life, from diverse backgrounds, have been, for example, in the county, been against the opt-out restrictions from MCPS, and Mink has called them racist, and they have basically denied the constitutional rights of residents by not allowing their kids to opt out of their sexual education madness that they have in place already. All right, let's continue. We have another tweet from, of course, MoCo Resistance. So one of the issues that came up recently in the last couple of weeks is what's going on at the airport. So we've been talking to whistleblowers, neighbors who live around the airport, and they have come out with a lot of information. So, for example, we have a tweet here. MoCo Resistance on the ground. I attended the airport community meeting last week, the 29th of January. The main takeaways of that meeting was that the airport committee is a sham. Former MoCo Board of Education member Lynn Harris is a member. Mossad operatives, Israeli intelligence operatives, are in Montgomery County, and they went to the airport meeting, and handlers in attendance. So we have neighbors suffering years of lead fuel poisoning being dumped on them because the airport does not use unleaded and gasoline fuel. It uses leaded fuel. So again, this is hypocrisy from the criminals at the county council, because they are saying they are, they want to restrict minority workers from using gas-powered leaf blowers, but yet we have lead gasoline being dumped on the whole county, especially on the grounds of Montgomery Village and Gaithersburg in the county. And there has been no EPA study on the air quality. There's $30 million of grants to the air park without any receipt, without any accountability, without any semblance of accounting. We have a committee covering for the Montgomery County Council. Yes, all the committee members are just yes man and yes woman, and they're supposed to be these members are supposed to live within 5 miles of the airport, but some of them don't. So again, hypocrisy. Off-hours flights point to illicit activity. So we have flights beyond 8 o'clock at night. We have flights all through the night, all through the morning. 3, 4 in the morning, 1 in the morning, early hours. We have 100 plus Israeli pilots training in the air park with little to no English language skills. Now let me ask you this: why would the air park be welcoming 100 Israeli pilots training at the air park? Are they planning something? Are they just college students that come? I think you need to learn. You need to have English. Basic English language skills in order for you to take classes at any level, and more so when you're learning how to fly. Very, very sketchy. And we have human drug trafficking. So more to come on this, more details on this. We're supposed to have a space on Sunday, but they got canceled because of some late events from the whistleblower. So we're gonna have that soon, and this is what's going on. We have a county council that she brought in 7 News media to make sure the meeting was covered, to sell the propaganda that she's transparent. If she were transparent and competent, she would respond to the many phone calls and letters, emails, and outreach efforts by affected residents. She's as corrupt as competent as the rest of county council. So this is just not acceptable. They tell you one thing and they do another. So here's my participation at the committee meeting, and thank you, Esther Wells, for recording the meeting. All right, let's continue. We have a tweet. Today is February 17th, 2009. We have millions of U.S. taxpayer dollars unaccounted for here in MoCo. I'm sure Kate Stewart will brief the public on the details of that is all gone for Casa for All. So we have the revelations, and thanks Clean Slate MoCo for the information. We have millions of dollars going to the Department of Housing and Urban Development, Assistant Secretary of Community Planning and Development. So federal funding for the county. We have 4 million. That's 10 million plus 7, 17 million only for development of housing. Yeah, here we go. Recipient, Montgomery County, Maryland, $5 million for what? For Department of Housing and the purposes, the Community Development Block Grant Program provides annual grants for formula basis state, cities, and counties to develop viable urban communities. I don't know, but I haven't seen anything on this. I haven't seen where are the $5 million, or is that just siphoned to Casa for All and other NGOs to house and fund the illegals that we have in the county? We have another $5 million awarded to Montgomery County for community development block. Yep, and we have another. I mean, I don't know about you, but my property taxes continue to increase. Electric bills and water bills continue to increase, and while at the same time they're receiving grants, $7.2 million awarded to Montgomery County from Department of Housing for community development block. What is that money for? Is that for the smart cities that they were planning? All right, continuing, we have a tweet. It says, breaking pedophilia supporter Evan Glass, along with his comrades from the Communist Council, Don Luedtke, Airport Crime Syndicate leader, and Natali Gonzales, zero competence joker, just send a big FU to all MoCo resistance. They rather keep supporting illegals on our dime than working for the issues we care about, such as curtailing rising property taxes or rising crime. So these political activists never worked for you and never will. So we have a tweet from, this is responding to the county council passed the U.S. Visa Act to help individuals obtain visas. So they're going out of their way to protect illegals. They're going out of their way to siphon money, siphon financial resources. They've come into our country, and these people in the county council are protecting them and are giving them all the support possible. What about the regular Joe who works full time, has a family, can barely afford his rent every month, can barely afford his mortgage payment every month, and it keeps his bills increasing, water, electric, etc., etc. And of course, you have Casa right here. You have Casa. I'll let you go ahead and listen to this.
We'll continue being a welcoming and compassionate place here in Montgomery County, where we welcome everybody from around the world because we know our diversity is our strength.
Taking every single step needed to ensure that whatever happens at the federal level, we're going to be continuing to protect our community.
We want to make sure we are helping all of our neighbors, regardless of where they came from, to be safe and secure in their neighborhoods.
Our goals are pretty simple: to detect, deter, ultimately solve crimes, but then to prevent future victimization.
As an immigrant, I understand the fear that many in our community face, particularly those who...
What else do you need to see to understand? Here's another example of how the county council is not working for you. So we have a tweet from February 12th. It says, embarrassing. We have incompetent, corrupt Communist cartel members like Low IQ Juan Doe and Wasware Stewart propagandizing a meaningless bill that does nothing to address the real problems of the county. Wasteful spending, rising property taxes, rising electric water bills, air park lead poisoning our air, our taxes being used to fund illegals, crime out of control, education system out of control. Did I miss anything? So you have Montgomery County bans plastic retail shopping bags. This is going to be starting sometime next. So you have council members just doing, okay, you're doing this for the environment supposedly. Why don't you investigate what's going on at the airport if you're concerned about the environment so much. All right, continuing. We have a tweet from February 16th that says the lies the DNC and its political activists are telling their base that they're to the Trump administration and Elon Musk is baseless. Okay, so you have Jamie Raskin just being an outright vicious liar and criminal. Basically, he was head of the J6 committee and he lied. He's facing a lot of problems legally and he'll be arrested soon. So here's what he said.
Here's what the Democrat Party is doing today. In response to the administration's crackdown on spending, are they saying that? No, they're saying this.
What I'm thinking about and talking to my friends at Democracy Defenders and other lawyers about is, could there be a nationwide class action lawsuit to follow up on last week's victories against Musk, against the Trump administration for this breach in computer security and the data of all American taxpayers? It could be a class action suit on behalf of all Americans. If the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers want to opt out and they don't want their money for the contamination of their data, fine, they can opt out. But really, it's a suit on behalf of everybody because that's our information. Right. It doesn't belong to Elon Musk or his little midnight crew. It belongs to the people, and the government has to hold it in trust.
So, a little background on DOGE and what the Democrats are planning to sue. They're planning, Jamie Raskin is planning a national civil suit to sue the Trump administration and Elon Musk. So, here's a little background on DOGE. Okay, so DOGE was created by the Obama administration to have IT backdoors on every federal agency because him and his globalist handlers thought the DNC was never going to lose power. All right, so here's the background. So DOGE, in its original name, was the U.S. Digital Service, which Hussein Obama created in 2014 to have a federal pass job to fix Obamacare, the website meltdown. I know, I remember. It was very much embarrassing for his administration. Fast forward to today, Trump rebrands it DOGE, keeps the acronym funding, but gives it a twist. Get all the receipts. So DOGE is legally untouchable because it's fully funded and it is operational. Trump invokes 5 U.S.C. 3161, allowing him to create temporary higher authority. DOGE teams get embedded inside every federal agency with a team that only reports to DOGE and not the agency they're embedded in. Trump invokes 44 U.S.C. Chapter 35, governing federal IT cybersecurity oversight. Since USDS DOGE was originally an IT oversight body, DOGE now has full access to all federal systems. All of them. So Hussein Obama built the perfect administrative deep state IT backdoor. No Montgomery County, Maryland, or congressional lawsuit has any weight. That's the background on DOGE. DOGE was created by Obama and it's fully funded, it's fully operational, and there's nothing Democrats or anybody can do to stop it. All right, continuing, we have a tweet from Clean Slate MoCo. He says this is what we elected, not someone who is finding ways to lower fees or create jobs or build a safer community, but someone who gets crayons and yells at the world and calls it service. He's mentioning a tweet from Natali Gonzales where she says, "Feeling energized in Aspen Hill. We will continue organizing to use all of our tools our Constitution provides to defend our rights and achieve a democracy that works for all people." So these are activists. She represents the Hispanic community, and as a Hispanic member of the community myself, this is embarrassing. This is not what the community needs. The community needs jobs. The community needs safer streets. The community needs better schools. This lady is a complete embarrassment. Yeah, you should resign as well. So that's what's going on in the county. We have political activists running the county, and they're doubling down on what they've always done, is not adhere to anything relevant on the concerns and issues residents face every day. They're not worried about the indoctrination that their kids are going through in school. They're not concerned about criminals running loose all over the county, and they're definitely not concerned about the lead that's coming down in our air due to the air park not using unleaded fuel. So people like to think that these people are concerned about the environment by passing bills that restrict plastic bags in stores, but at the same time, they don't see that these people they're hypocrites, because if they really cared about the environment, they would put up money or put up bills in order to make sure that the air park, for example, use unleaded fuel for their operations. Just another example. All right, let's continue. We have the second part of today's news podcast, which we have entitled "GOP Fighting Back." So there's the Maryland Freedom Caucus. It's proud conservatives in all line, and we're pushing back. The GOP is pushing back, fighting back. I know we've said this before. In 2022, we had a good slate of candidates from the GOP that wanted to fight, and we're continuing to fight. But again, the GOP is here for you, is here to help you, is here to represent you, and we are full speed ahead in terms of fighting this Marxist occupation that we live under in Montgomery County and in the state of Maryland. So for those of you who listen to us beyond our borders, this is our reality. We are under control because the mainstream media is bought and paid for by the Democrat Party. The news, local media sources are protecting all Democrats in office at all levels within our county and our state, and they're isolated. Since Trump's victory, they've been doubling down on their woke progressive narrative, on their woke progressive Marxist propaganda, and this is what we're living through. But we have a political party, the GOP, that is fighting back. Yes, we can talk about both parties being bad or being corrupt, yes. But at this time, we can talk later about, forming a third or fourth party, whatever. But at this time, the only option that we have is to join the ranks of the GOP, because the GOP is cleaning house federally. DOGE is facing a lot of setbacks because the work that they're doing is on behalf of the American people, and they are finding out a lot of crime, a lot of money that they've used, politicians, agencies have misused from our tax base. So yeah, we're fighting back, and here's an example. We have GOP fighting back. For example, we have Pepco and other utility companies in Maryland. We have a tweet from Walker that says we keep ours at 62. Here we go, meaning the degrees that they have at our home. Not just Empower MD, which is the company, it's the gross receipts tax to MoCo and the new charge Pepco added. They are 40% of the bill this month, $933. Can you believe this? It went from January $622.30 to $933. And the surcharge and everything, it goes to customer charge, energy charge, Pepco revenue deferral recovery. We have a surcharge for Empower Maryland charge, and this is happening all over the county, all over the state. Residents are being forced to pay high electric bills, and this is wrong. So we have again Maryland Freedom Caucus. They put out a tweet on February 15th that says, great coverage from WBAL Channel 11 on our energy press conference with Congressman Andy Harris. Our plan is the only solution providing immediate relief for
Freedom Caucus plan is aimed at reversing what members call the crazy draconian green energy policies, and they claim that's what's driving electric bills up.
What do we want? What do we want?
A rally in support of green energy legislation on Lawyers Mall. Some wore gas masks to emphasize why the state must continue to move away from fossil fuel dependency.
Thank you all for being here this morning.
And inside, just a block away, the Maryland Freedom Caucus held a news conference blaming green energy policies on why electric bills are so high.
Number one thing that we are all hearing from constituents is how high their electric bill is.
And we know it's because of the Green New Deal, of these crazy energy policies.
The Republican Freedom Caucus rolled out a 4-part plan to lower high energy costs. A bill hearing is scheduled next month. They want the General Assembly to repeal or reform the Climate Solutions Act of 2022. This requires the state to reduce greenhouse gas emissions 60% by 2031 and reach net zero emissions by 2045. The caucus wants to stop a 2008 program called Empower. These are fees on electric bills that fund greenhouse gas reduction initiatives.
This has become a slush fund. That money needs to be in the pocket of the ratepayer.
They also want to stop the governor's $180 million commitment to develop alternative energy sources. And they're calling on the governor and feds to keep state coal-powered plants open.
That would provide immediate relief to the people of Maryland so that we would have supply meet demand and maybe even exceed demand, in which case prices would go down.
But the company that owns 2 of those plants wants to close them, citing financial reasons.
No Maryland legislation requires coal plants to close. The closure of coal plants in Maryland is a private choice made by a private company.
The Freedom Caucus wrote the U.S. Energy Secretary, pleading for the feds to intervene to keep the plants open. They claim Maryland has prioritized ideology over energy security.
So it's all about energy security, which the DNC, the Democratic Party, doesn't understand. The Green New Deal that was pushed by Biden didn't work, doesn't work. Multiple studies that showed that the current grid that powers, that supplies Montgomery County, Maryland, is not sufficient enough to comply or to face the rigorous demands that the Democrat Party has put forth in terms of removing fossil fuels. So yes, there are 2 power plants that are closed, and this is the reason why your electric bill has risen significantly in the last 2 months. So this is done on purpose. I mean, it's easy to see. If they want to push all residents in Maryland, in Montgomery County, and all counties within the state to switch to get solar panels. I don't know about you, but I've received a lot of emails from solar companies that would like to extend the Maryland state rebates in order for me to get solar panels in my house. And what a coincidence that this comes after a couple bills that come from Pepco and other energy providers that have their prices and rates gone up significantly. So this is not by accident. This is done on purpose. So you're seeing it play out. All right, let's continue. So we have, again, the Maryland electric bills. Maryland Freedom Caucus says the Maryland Freedom Caucus unveiled its bold Lower Electric Bills Now energy platform aimed at reversing harmful state policies that have led to skyrocketing utility costs for Marylanders. U.S. Congressman Andy Harris joined the caucus in a press conference calling on the General Assembly and Governor Moore to take immediate action to restore energy independence, eliminate unfair taxes on ratepayers, and halt the Empower monthly fee and other costly green energy mandates. The Green New Deal is done for. The Build Back Better plan from Biden is gone, but we have Maryland government and the county governments, including MoCo, on full board to push something that is unfeasible economically. And here we go. Here are the 4 points. Lower electric bills now from the Maryland caucus. Requested federal intervention from the Department of Energy and Secretary Wright to immediately reopen closed power plants, as well as ensure abandoned stores and Wagner power plants remain open permanently. Number 2, halt the Empower program immediately. through executive order by Governor Westmore or by the Maryland Freedom Caucus Amendment HB 1451. Number 3, repeal or reform the Climate Solutions Act now of November 2022, Maryland's Green New Deal, with HB 1451, the Climate Affordability Act of 2025. And number 4, the last point, stop Westmore's $180 million climate department and other unnecessary programs that might come out of the Maryland 100 study. So the GOP is fighting back. We began this episode with petition, so you need to go there and sign the petition because we need this madness of rising electric bills to come down, to stop, and this is the way to do it. So the GOP is all hands on deck on this. Okay, so we turn into our last point of the news broadcast today, which is DOGE. DOGE, as of yesterday, they put out information that says breaking. DOGE just created official X accounts for every government agency. We have DOGE they're gonna audit every federal agency, and yes, we expect a lot of information coming out of the corruption, financial mismanagement, of course, millions and billions of our tax dollars being wasted. So since DOGE has been active, they've found a lot of money being wasted all over the country, all over the world, and this should wake up every American in the United States and abroad. Right, here we go. It says, DOGE News, Department of the U.S. government sent $2.7 trillion in Medicare and Medicaid money overseas to people who were not eligible to receive it. That's 8% of our national debt. Medicare isn't going broke. The money is being stolen. You heard that right.
To DOGE just for a second. Earlier, the subcommittee headed by Chairman Marcia Taylor Greene, her and her staff discovered $2.7 trillion in improper payments to Medicare, Medicaid, overseas, to people who should not have gotten it. Some of this room might have missed that press conference. Can you elaborate on what the president is thinking at this point?
Well, again, that's another example. There's a very long list of the fraud, waste, and abuse that DOGE is identifying on a daily basis. Elon Musk also talked about yesterday about Social Security payments that are going out the door for people who are no longer with us. Unfortunately, I would say that is certainly fraud. There's also a lot of contracts they've identified that, just as a hypothetical example, are $1 million, but only 500,000 went out the door. So where's the rest of that cash? And so that's the thing. Those are the things that DOGE is working on every single day. And I would just remind everybody in this room, this is what President Trump campaigned on doing. He's delivering on a promise.
So before we go further, so we talked about inflation during the Biden years, why inflation was so high. It's very simple, economics 101. As an economist, I've seen this play out in all parts of the world, especially in third world countries where the government just prints out a lot of money in order for them to pay out their criminal syndicate associates to make the public seem as if the economy was doing well. Same thing is happened in the United States, where the government just kept printing money. I mean, all the billions that went to Ukraine, supposedly, all the billions that have gone to USAID, all the billions that have been wasted at the Social Security Administration, all this pumping of money, it creates inflation. The money supply domestically grows significantly without any real reason. That creates pressure on the current base of products and services within the country. And since the production of goods and services does not keep up in terms of percentage growth, the money supply, then that creates inflation. And that's why you saw all the inflation during the Biden years. And now we're living through the consequences. So this identification of money, misspent money by DOGE is great. It shows that first of all there was corruption. There was definitely money laundering from the DNC and the Uniparty in DC. So. And we have a tweet from Jim Ferguson that reads, this is from February 7th, expose 6,000 journalists and 700 newsrooms funded by USAID. So we want to call this the USAID gate. So now we know why the media all push the same narrative, because they're all on the same payroll. 6,000 journalists, 700 newsrooms receive U.S. taxpayer money through USAID. This is not journalism, it's government-funded propaganda. every fact check, every expert opinion, every mainstream media hit piece was bought and paid for. Correct. No wonder they're panicking. USAID has been shut down and the truth is breaking through. Where are the news now? Correct.
And I'm Ryan Wolf.
Our greatest responsibility is to serve our
Treasure Valley communities,
the El Paso, Las Cruces communities,
Eastern Iowa communities.
In communities.
We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
But we are concerned about troubling, irresponsible, one-sided news stories
plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and
False news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
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 At the beginning of this adventure called MoCo Assistance, we said that all media sources, nationally, internationally, and locally here, were bought and paid for. And these are the receipts. This is the proof. Just think about it. Every news source in the radio, when you wake up, when you read something online, when you listen to the news in the car, when you look at some news online at work, when you come back, when you watch the news at night, they're all telling you the same thing. They all have been telling you the same thing for years. Not only just recently. They've all been telling you that Trump is a racist, that white people are racist, that the GOP is a racist political party, that the DNC and the Democratic Party is the party of the people, of minorities. It's all false. It's all a lie. So when we say, do you want a red pill or you want the blue pill when we talk about the Matrix, you are living in the Matrix because the reality that you've been told you live in is a complete lie. Right here, this is proof that, for instance, they push, how easily can it be for all news sources everywhere in the world to say that the COVID virus came out of bats and it spread like wildfire, and it's dangerous, and everybody should wear a mask, and everybody should get vaccinated. This is how they did it, right here. This is how they did it. This is how they push everything. It's a Marxist, communist, socialist propaganda machine that we as U.S. taxpayers have been funding unknowingly. Are you awake yet? We have a tweet from Alex Jones that reads, breaking, DOGE discovers USAID secretly funneled $4 billion to Bill Gates plus another $880 million to the World Health Organization that also received over $700 million. So Alex Jones has been right all along. I don't agree with him 100%, but most of what he said in the past has come true. So that gives him some credence in terms of his information. And the reality is that everything that has come out until now is less than 1% of the whole corrupt operation of the DNC in our government. So yeah, we have another tweet that we put out. Bombshell: recent DOGE findings show USAID is part of the DNC criminal syndicate that is engaged in criminal activity. Among many actions, USAID directly funded the Wuhan laboratory gain of function to create the COVID-19 virus. You heard that right. Among the many actions, USAID directly funded the Wuhan laboratory to create COVID-19 virus. About 97-98% of the staff at USAID voted for and donated money to Harris. USAID is an arm of the CIA, correct, that has over $3 trillion in grants with no oversight. Buckle up. Trump administration just started to uncover the first layer of the DC swamp is deep. So again, we have TikTok account. Follow us. This is our second account that was... Alright, so here's the TikTok that we put out on this information.
USAID over the past several years, these are some of the insane priorities that organization has been spending money on. $1.5 million to advance DEI in Serbia's workplaces, $70,000 for a production of a DEI musical in Ireland, $47,000 for a transgender opera in Colombia, $32,000 for a transgender comic book in Peru. I don't know about you, but as an American taxpayer, I don't want my dollars going towards this crap, and I know the American people don't either, and that's exactly what Elon Musk has been tasked by President Trump to do, to get the fraud, waste, and abuse out of our federal government. Thank you, guys.
All the amount of money going to overseas. Elon Musk says USAID has financed bioweapons research. Elon Musk says that USAID has financed bioweapon research, including work on COVID-19, which resulted in millions of deaths. That's correct. Elon Musk, on his first DOGE case, the COVID virus was developed in the Wuhan lab, which was funded by US dollars. US tax dollars were used to kill Americans. It's insane. USAID funneled $53 million to EcoHealth Alliance, which then used US taxpayer funds to support gain-of-function research on coronaviruses at the Wuhan lab, research that likely led to the creation of COVID-19. Correct. The CIA in the last 48 hours admitted that the COVID-19 virus was created at the Wuhan laboratory.
I spoke to former USAID Global Health Head Atul Gawande yesterday. He told me this isn't a pause in foreign aid, it is a demolition of USAID. As he put it, you can't pause a flight in midair. That's what's happening. This immediate freeze in funding is stopping agencies in the field from being able to do the work they do.
Let's say why that is so important. And let's talk about the real facts on the ground. The Trump administration comes in, or representatives like myself that do oversight, the agencies will literally not tell us what they are writing grants for, literally, or they will lie about it, or they will tell the new political appointees under the Trump administration, I'm just not going to tell you that. Those are real things that have happened. So the way that you make them come and answer for where they are actually sending dollars is to say, we're freezing that, we're putting it on hold. You need to come to us and explain what it is you're doing, why you're doing it, and where it's actually saving life. And guess what? When they don't come explain something, that also begs the question, why were they doing it in the first place?
Democrats are protesting the pause of USA funding. They're freaking out because their money laundering criminal organization, which they benefited from for decades at the expense of American taxpayers, has been exposed. Yep. That's why you have Raskin, all the Democrats, Schumer, Pelosi screaming their heads up because they know their money laundering machine, one of their money laundering machines is done for. And that's why the government closed USAID. Alright, let's continue. We have a tweet from Musk that reads, USAID was funding D.E.I. abroad while America goes broke at home. The craziest things USAID spent your tax dollars on a thread. So that's why DEI is dead. DEI is nothing more than a Marxist propaganda narrative strategy to break the family structure, traditional family structure, to destroy the nuclear family, basically remove the morals from society. This is where your money, your tax dollar money went. Paying for $20 million on Iraqi Sesame Street. DEI nonsense. It was $70,000 a DEI musical. Your taxes funded in Ireland. A Biden State's Department sent $70,000 to fund a diversity, equity, and inclusion musical in Ireland because apparently pushing woke ideology overseas was a priority. The transgender opera in Colombia. Wow. 7.9 million gender training for Sri Lanka's journalists. So this is a part of the globalist plan to destroy Western civilization and United States in order to push their new world order stuff. I mean, it's right there in front of you. I mean, people, family members, co-workers, and friends that told you about this, you believe that they were crazy. Well, you need to apologize to them now. So, USAID defenders claimed the media empowerment for a democratic Sri Lanka program wasn't just about gender ideology.
Implant aborted baby parts into lab animals. Have you heard of that sort of research?
Yeah, we did an analysis a few years ago showing that over 90% of experiments with using human fetal tissue and putting them involved animals were funded by Fauci's NIAID.
Do you know where they're getting the aborted human fetal tissue?
A lot of it is happening at colleges and universities that have affiliated hospitals that perform that procedure.
Madam Chair, I think we need to look into that as well.
How did you get a $12 million net worth on a $200,000 salary in Congress?
Politicians raking in millions on modest salaries. The average American is working multiple jobs just to get by. What's really going on? Senator Elizabeth Warren and former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi are under fire for amassing millions in wealth despite their government salaries. Warren, with an estimated $12 million net worth, earns $200,000 per year, while Pelosi, worth over $240 million, collects a $223,000 salary. Critics call this deep corruption, while others insist it's justified. But now, Elon Musk just made a major move. From the Oval Office, he announced that DOGE will launch an investigation into public officials with suspiciously high net worths. For the first time, politicians will be held to the same financial scrutiny as everyday Americans. For decades, they've lined their pockets while Americans struggle with inflation, housing costs, and taxes. Now, Washington is panicking as DOGE begins digging through decades of financial records to expose potential corruption and shady dealings. Is this the transparency America has been waiting for?
President Trump and Elon Musk want to cut public education for our children and our neighborhood schools. By eliminating the Department of Education, Republicans are sending a clear message that they don't care about our children reaching their full potential.
Go yourself.
You're fired! Get out!
Listen here, you jerk off. If you actually gave a shit about our children reaching their full potential, you wouldn't be attempting to stand in the way of dismantling one of the biggest failures of American government. Before the Department of Education was created in 1979, the United States had literacy rates near 100%, putting us in the top 5 globally. We've been on a rapid decline ever since. The phrase functionally illiterate is something you hear all too often these days, which is why the movie Idiocracy was made in the first place.
Why you keep trying to read the word?
This is just a taste of what they've been doing with your money. $33 million went to equity assistance, whatever the that means. $373 million went to diversity training. And get this, $3 million went to create a report that showed the other reports weren't being used by schools because they're f***ing smart. The days of doing nothing about it are over.
I'm going to bring the whole diseased, corrupt temple down on your head.
Sounds like a plan.
It's going to be biblical.
Thank you for watching the DOGE report.
Okay, so if you're not angry by this point, I don't know what to tell you. All the information we've shared today basically points out the fact that the DNC, that the Democratic Party is corrupt and criminal. More information is going to come out that will shed light into the illicit gains of wealth by top Democratic DNC heads. That includes Clinton's, the Schumers of the world, the Obamas of the world, and more to come on other information, other crimes as well. So you're living through the greatest disclosure of information this country has ever had. It has never happened, so you have front seats to it. The last part of the episode will cover the bonus round. So the bonus round, basically just a little extra. And today's extra is time to fight back. So Moms for Liberty in Montgomery County, they tweeted the following. And so it begins. Academic excellence, merit, biological truth, and common sense coming back to American classrooms. See something, share something with D.O.G.E. So you're a parent, you're a student. Well, here's your chance. DOGE Education is asking the following. DOGE is seeking help from the public. Please DM this account with insights on waste, fraud, and abuse relating to the U.S. Department of Education. So here's your chance, MoCo. Let your voice be heard, and we're very happy to share this information. And I'm sure you guys are going to go ham on contacting DOGE, and please do so, as I will do also myself. So we covered a lot of ground in this episode. We covered what the council is doing. They're doubling down. They are working with organized crime, and there are criminals criminals themselves because they're not following the law. They're not. They don't work for us. They work for the Tacoma Park, the Communist Cartel. We have a few members who are racist. A few members who are. All of them are incompetent, by the way. One of them is the head of the air park criminal cartel. That's Don Luedtke. We have a pedophile supporter in Evan Glass. We have a low IQ Joanda. We have nice evil man look Cats. We have no character, no personality. Albornoz and of course we have race in the council. We also touched on the GOP fighting back. We're finally on the other side of the fight, and we are heading towards a confrontation with our beliefs, with our values, and we are here to fight. MoCo Assistance is the conservative news channel, telling the truth. No other channel exists in Montgomery County that provides the information we provide. So you are privileged to get the truth, the real information from primary sources, from secondary sources, but we focus on primary sources. And then we got some news from DOGE, what DOGE is doing, uncovering the corruption, the fraud, the waste of financial resources on our dime. Not only did the government agencies waste money here at home, but they spend our money overseas. And wait until you hear about what the amount of money that was sent to our supposed allies abroad. That's going to be something. And then lastly, we touched on the bonus round, which is you have a medium now, Montgomery County, to voice your concerns about any waste, fraud, or anything related to it. So we thank you again. Please subscribe to our channels on Telegram, YouTube, and Rumble. Also TikTok, and follow us and connect in Facebook. Thank you very much. Join us. Join the resistance.